Welcome to Lesson 04 of Debian Mastery Identity. Every access decision on a Debian box traces back to three plain text files: passwd, shadow, and group. You never edit them by hand. Instead, you learn the Debian way, the aduser wrapper, scale for defaults, sudoers, drop-ins, and you build the group strategy that Stage 03 hardening will lean on. So let's look at those three files. Password lists who exists, username, UID, GID, GCOS field, home, and shell, world readable, with an X where the password used to live. Shadow holds the actual hash, root only. On modern Debian, you'll see $Y for yes crypt, and if you ever see $1 MD5 on a legacy box, treat it as insecure and rotate. Group defines roles and memberships. That's how Dargslan, Laszlo, and Scylla get sudo. And the rule stands: never open these in a plain editor. Use VIPW, VGR, Visudo, or the per-user tools. passwd, change, chhash, chfn. They lock, they validate, they keep you out of trouble. Now, creating users. Debian gives you two commands, and the difference matters. Useradd is the raw POSIX tool. It makes an entry and stops. No home directory. No scale copy, bin sh as the shell, no password set. Aduser is the Debian wrapper that does what you actually wanted: homedir, scale files, bash, password prompt, GCOS. Rule of thumb: aduser at the terminal, useradd in your scripts and Ansible playbooks where you need every flag explicit, and the same split applies to add group versus group add. Same logic, same defaults. Now, when aduser runs, where do those starter files come from? Etc. Scale. It's the template directory. I'll drop files in there once, and every new user lands with them in their home. Out of the box, Debian gives you a minimal 3, bashrc, bash.logout profile. In production, you extend it. Team aliases, a shared vimmerk, sane git config, tmux, htop. One warning: never put SSH keys in Scale. That's a fleet-wide leak. And remember, Scale only affects new users. Existing homes need an Ansible sync, which we'll cover in Lesson 20. From templates, let's talk numbering. Every account gets a UID, and Debian splits the space cleanly. 0 is root, 1 through 999 belong to the system, core daemons in the low end, package services like Postgres and Nginx above 100. And 1000 and up is reserved for humans. Once you internalize this, scanning, Excentrosura Passubui becomes anomaly detection. A human at UID 800, wrong. A service at 1500, wrong. The boundary lives in login.tfs, and aduser respects it. Verify it on every host and customize it to match your fleet convention. Now, granting power. On Debian, sudo access is controlled by group membership. Add a user to the sudo group, have them log back in, and the %sudo line in @sudoers does the rest. But never open that file with a plain editor. One stray comma and nobody, not even root via sudo, can elevate. Always use vsudo. It locks the file, validates syntax, and refuses to save garbage. Use the -f flag for drop-ins, and sudo lu to audit what a user can actually do. And this is where the Debian way really shines. Don't touch etc. sudoers itself. Drop files into sudoers.dd instead. One file per team, numbered for ordering, removable in a single RM. SysAdmins get full power. App deploy gets 3 exact commands with no passwd. Monitoring agents get read-only diagnostics, and a 99 deny file blocks the dangerous stuff, even if someone widens a grant later. Edit each with vsudo f, then run vsudo c to validate the whole tree. Ansible-friendly, auditable, and safe to roll back. Now scale that thinking across a fleet. Groups are your role-based access control. One sudoers. Rule per group beats 50 per user every time. Add a name to the group. Membership flows everywhere via Ansible. This taxonomy is the canonical one. Sysadmins for full power, devs for read-only log access. apt deploy for scoped restarts, read-only for auditors, monitoring for the metrics agent and S users, as the gate that L13 hardening will key off. Design it once and stage 03, SSH allow groups, app or more confinement, just slots in. With groups in place, let's lock down the credentials themselves. Out of the box, Debian will happily accept a 4-character password, fine for a laptop, unacceptable in production. Install libpam pydw quality and drop these values into security-pydw-quality.conf. 14 characters minimum per NIST, 800 yes63b, 3-character classes, no repeats, dictionary and username checks on, and yes, enforced for root 2. Then Change handles the calendar, 90-day maximum, 7-day warning. The audit loop at the bottom sweeps every real user, so nobody slips past expiry unnoticed. L14 brute force defenses assume this floor exists. Now the war stories, 5 gotchas that bite every new Debian admin. Number 1 is the classic. You aduser yourself to sudo, run a command, get permission denied, and question reality. Groups are evaluated at login, so either log out and back in, or use new jarp sudo to refresh the current shell. Number 2, no past. On all equals all is a stolen laptop disaster. Scope it to specific commands via cmd alias, never blanket. 3, orphan UIDs after deluser. Find /nouser catches them, put it in your offboarding runbook. 4, populate ncdu scale before onboarding, not after. And 5, always edit sudoers with vsudo and run sudo vsudo shell after every Ansible push. Recovery from a broken sudoers file means pugexec or single user mode, and you don't want that pager call. So here's the recap. 6 skills that lock in your identity foundation. 3 plain text files you never touch by hand. Adducer over user add, always. Etc. Scale as your team baseline. The 1000 UID line that separates humans from system accounts. Drop-ins under sudoers.d instead of one monolithic file. And groups designed as fleet-wide RBSC, not afterthoughts. That's stage 01 nearly closed. Lesson 05 is Bash and the shell environment. The last piece before we leave the base system behind and start stage 02, where Debian actually starts doing things. Lesson 04 is complete. Identity is configured. 3 files clear. Aduser fluent. sudoers.d pattern locked in. Group strategy designed. Next up, Bash and the shell environment. We'll cover the Bash RRC and profile cascade. Drop-ins under ets profile.e for fleet-wide defaults. Locale and time zone via dpkg reconfigure, and the aliases that genuinely change your life. That's also the stage transition, foundation to services. See you in lesson 05.